Greetings! My name is Sandra de la Loza. I'm an artist based here in Los Angeles. And today I'm going to build a mobile bike ofrenda or altar for an upcoming Day of the Dead bike ride through the city to honor our ancestors. Hope you and your family are doing well during this time. And although we may not be able to have the big gatherings to honor our ancestors for Day of the Dead that we're used to in the city because of COVID and the quarantine, that does not mean that we can find creative ways to gather and also honor our ancestors. So I'll be guiding you through a process and hopefully give you lots of ideas of ways you can activate your bike and turn it into a mobile ofrenda. So let's go ahead and begin. So first off, just some building blocks for creating your mobile ofrenda. One is hard substrates such as cardboard, chipboard, or the backs of old notebook pads, drawing pads, any kind of hard substrate that you could paste images on, or hand-drawn drawings and then attach to your bike. Another great building block for your mobile ofrenda is tissue paper, which can be cut and folded and create paper flowers. Of course, you're welcome to add fresh flowers, or you could do a combination. I'll be working with paper flowers today. Some other materials you may want to gather as you begin your project is materials to attach your ofrendas to your bike. So good old white glue is a good start. Some twine to tie offerings to your bike is also can be very useful. Tapes of various colors. Zip ties are really useful and handy. Always good to mark things, so pen, marker, pencil. We'll probably need to cut things, so some scissors would be great. If you have a utility knife, that would probably be useful as well. And perhaps some glue sticks also can come in handy. I also like a straight edge. If you want to get more elaborate and use heavier objects, or also maybe objects that don't glue as well, maybe need a little more strength than white glue, then a glue gun can also be helpful. So today we'll be giving you lots of ideas of ways to activate your ofrenda, and we'll be walking you through the process. The ways that we're introducing ideas and techniques are definitely beginning steps and baby steps, and can hopefully give you just some basic tools that can help you take your ofrenda as far as you would like. Next thing you may want to prepare as you are gathering stuff for your ofrenda is to think about your concept. Who do you want to honor this year? So for this year's Day of the Dead, I'll be honoring my lovely mother, who was born and raised in LA. She used to stroll downtown LA and listen to big band in the 40s as a young Pachuca. I'll also be honoring the city itself, old transportation systems, and also a labor strike of train workers against the old train system, the Pacific Electric Railway in 1903. I'll especially be honoring Teresa Urea, a healer and activist who was banished from Mexico in the late 1890s and arrives in Los Angeles during the said strike. So this is actually part of a project of mine called To Oblivion, in which I gathered an archive with photos, with news coverage, and created an installation. I recreated a bike float, and so part of today's workshop is definitely inspired by this project. It's called To Oblivion. You're welcome to go to my website and see more of my work and check out that project, ihadela.com. But I also want to honor the history of the city, and also the history of workers and laborers and those who have fought for social change and justice. So Teresa Uria will be featured in my ofrenda. She was, as I mentioned, she was a healer, and she was also activist. So her healers described her healing powers, how powers as being in her hands, and I also want to honor her activist work as well. So she actually showed up at the strike of workers in 1903 and led a march of women who walked down Main Street and urged over 600 Mexican workers who are working on the train system to lay down their hammers and join the strike. So here's my bike, and to convert our bikes into mobile ofrendas, we can activate many parts of our bikes. So what I'll be introducing to you today is just some ideas, some approaches, some techniques to, one, transform your frame, use your frame as a site of decoration, to use the front of your bike also as a place to maybe create a small mobile altar. Our spokes as well can be a creative site to add on to. And also the back of our bike, here I have a bike rack in my back of my bike, and that'll be a great place where I could add also on a little ofrenda here. And finally, myself. So we can be part of the ofrenda as well. So we're gonna activate all those parts, and let's go ahead and start with the frame. So love my old school red old Peugeot, but for my ofrenda, I'm gonna go old school black and white, representing night and day, life and death, and also the great black, white, gray spectrum of archival material, which I'll be using for this ofrenda. All right, so let's get started. So a lot of the materials that I gathered, I found around the house. I also just went and sought affordable and yet effective ways of transforming my bike. My 99-cent store was a great resource. Any party store is a great resource. So first step was I'm going to transform my frame. I found these party streamers at my 99-cent store. So I'm going to wrap these streamers to cover my frame and kind of take away that red, which is beautiful, but a little bit too loud for the purposes of my ofrenda. So I would cover my entire bike with paper streamers. Black paper streamers would be great. White would be great. I used white here. Once I'm done with that, then I will attach my offerings. So some things you may use to decorate your bike are silk flowers you can find at a lot of stores, including 99-cent store. I'm going to use real herb bundles, and this is local California native mugwort, really powerful herb, great for dreams and also for baths, baños to relax your muscles. I made garlands of paper flowers that will also be attached to the bike. And so to attach things to the bike, you could use a couple of things. I got my masking tape ready for use. And then also I'll be using zip ties. All right, let's go. So the next site of activation on our mobile ofrenda that we're going to work on is the front part of our bike, the handlebars. One basic building block for your mobile ofrenda can be making paper flowers out of tissue paper. So you'd want to cut 6-7 pieces of tissue paper, same size, into squares. You would fold it up, accordion style, tie with string, and then you could snip the ends. It adds a nice texture. And then when you got a grip of paper flowers, then just lift up each sheet and you will have petals that appear. So from your paper flowers, you can string them together. I use a needle and something thicker than regular thread, a cord. Michael's is a good place to find specialty threads and larger needles. And I strung them up and I attached them to this basket that I found at Michael's. And I attached the flowers, my garland of flowers. I wrapped it around the bike, and then I used small zip ties to attach the flowers. Okay, and so now I'm going to use larger zip ties to attach the basket to the bike. And you really want to kind of think of points where you can attach objects you're attaching to your bike that are going to not obstruct the mobility of your bike, but also are going to add security and longevity, so that you don't lose anything as you're riding. So I'm going to attach 2 zip ties to the top. Oh, this is a little scrunched. Now I'm going to go this way. There we go. And then I would add another one at the bottom and attach it to my frame here, just to make it a little sturdier. Once you have your basket attached, this is a great base for a front-facing altar. So think of how you would want to decorate your front of ofrenda mini altar. Images are great. Also a second great building block towards creating your mobile ofrenda are images and a stronger substrate. Definitely paper's a little too thin, wonky, won't be too durable with movement and with wind. Cardboard's a great substrate that will give you great backing. You could punch holes into and then attach images to different parts of your altar. So speaking of the magic of cardboard, we're going to move on to our next section. I got a special guest, William Macedo, who's going to show possibilities of using your images and attaching them to harder substrates in creative ways. Okay, so now we're going to move to the back of the bike. There's a couple of sites of activation I'm going to work on. One is the back area and the spoke area. So the great thing about once you gather your images, if you could have access to Xerox or way to print them, you can make multiples, print them at different sizes, and use them for different purposes. So I'm going to use Santa Teresa's hands of power for the back wheel spike, the back wheel area. I pretty much just got a Xerox copy and pasted it on cardboard and cut it out and poked a couple holes in at the points I'm going to slip a zip tie through. I'm going to attach this to the back rack bar on my bike. Whenever you attach ofrendas, images, just make sure that it's not obstructing with the movement of your wheels. So I'm attaching this to this bar. I'm gonna go ahead and move through the back area so it's not as visible. And I'd probably do another one on top, and then we cut and clean as we go. So I'll clean up the extra zip tie. I can add another one to the top, so for extra support. Otherwise, right now it's a little flimsy. So you just want to make things are secure. So just for purposes of time, though, I'm going to move on. The second site of activation will be a two-tier ofrenda that I'm going to attach to my back rack. So basically, I made this two-tier mini ofrenda made out of cardboard boxes cut out. I created slits in the bottom to attach the second box, and then I covered it with construction paper and black masking tape. So I also have some pre-cut holes, which I'm going to attach the zip ties. In between these two holes, I added a couple popsicle sticks just to give this area extra strength, because when you're moving or you park, it's easy for the boxes to hit things or lean against things, and this will just give added strength and added support. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the ofrenda. See you in a minute. So now that we've attached our altar on the back part of our bike, how do we want to decorate it? So this ofrenda is going to be dedicated to my mom, Hilda de la Loza, rest in peace. I printed out a photocopy of this photo, and then I attached it, glued it to sturdier material, and then created a stand out of cardboard. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach that to the top tier of my ofrenda and use simple tape here. Not too high, definitely it's going to move with wind, but I think it'll hold up for the ride. So moving from kind of handmade offerings to the world of mass-produced, welcome to global capitalism. But at my local 99-cent store, I did find some great finds. These fun erasers. So my mom definitely had a sweet tooth, so I'm gonna honor that in my ofrenda. And I'd attach some of these erasers onto my ofrenda. So I'm gonna kind of just assort things a little bit before I make a commitment. Also found, she loved plants as well, so I also found these cactus erasers, and I'd add a few of those. So gather your ofrendas, play with placement before you make any commitments, get everything figured out. You may want to add some paper flowers. For example, another thing that you could add to your ofrenda is we could think about lights as well. So also LED lights are great and super handy. Don't really like the color of these LED lights. So what I got is some cellophane wrapping paper, and I'm just going to soften the light a little bit. Whoops. Soften the light a little bit. With cellophane wrapper, I'm going to use a little hairband and close this, and I could add these to my ofrenda. Once you're complete and you got things exactly as you want them to be placed, you know your placement, you know what's going to go on, then you would adhere things. So this is, I think, where a glue gun will come in handy. So mine is not plugged in. I'm just demonstrating. So definitely, I think the erasers really kind of need a heavier glue. So glue gun's great. I'd glue gun and attach my erasers and secure them. Great, so this is our back altar ofrenda.
Greetings, welcome to the magic of cardboard. Cardboard is great for you to put images on to anything. The cardboard has a lot of possibilities. We've chosen 3 pieces of cardboard. One, a very nice piece of finished cardboard, chipboard from your notebooks, and also just regular cardboard from a cardboard box. Great thing about cardboard is that it can, regular cardboard is that it can be used as a stiff, flat surface for a silhouette, such as a fist, or it can be bent upon the grain in order to create a curved surface. And a curved surface is great. You can attach something to it and use it on many different parts of your body and your bike. We'll start first with selecting our images. Select the images that you want to use and have them printed out on Xerox. And then we're going to take the images and cut them out. And when we cut them out, we'll have them all set aside for the spray mount session. We use a spray mount, an adhesive, and the little glue stick, because the spray mount is not entirely perfect. Spray mount is nasty stuff, so you definitely want to prepare it in an area where you're not going to damage. I put a piece of paper down. Anything you spray mount on is going to have a permanent gooey, snotty texture from now on. So definitely protect the surface that you're working on. Don't do it near anybody's car, or they will talk with you. I select the image that we cut out and I put it face down. Since it makes such a mess, I do a couple of images at a time, spraying them, making my area messy before I attach them onto the cardboard. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to choose this little hand-drawn skull and this little skull. The spray mount is toxic, so you may want to wear a mask. Brush it lightly so it doesn't clump. You get a nice even surface on the back of your Xerox. Ideally, the way spray mount is designed is you're supposed to spray both surfaces. That's not always doable, but in this case we're going to do it. I'm going to take my piece of chipboard and hold it away. Put a little bit of that spray mount and let it breathe a little bit. Once I feel that it's gotten tacky and dry, I'm going to pick up my image and I'm going to lay it down nice and smooth onto my cardboard. I won't rub it too much because the toner on your Xerox could smudge. I smooth it out so I don't have any bubbles or any crimps in the cardboard. And then, once I have that in nice, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit before I take my my scissors and my cutting blade to cut these out. So we've taken our Xerox, we've cut it out, we've mounted it to a piece of cardboard, and then we cut the piece of cardboard out. So now we have a rigid and stiff piece of imagery that we can use to decorate the bike. Here's a couple of ideas that we came up with that you can look into to decorate your bike. You can see what a solid color, what a nice piece of cardboard can do in terms of striking imagery. It looks finished, it looks professional, it looks ready to go. Look how striking that image is. Just a simple Xerox glued onto a piece of colored cardboard. Here's a regular piece of chipboard with Our Lady, Santa Teresa, in a silhouette. Very effective. We've taken some smaller images and we glued them onto a little stick, small little paint stirring stick. And we've made little signs. These little signs can be attached anywhere around your bike, in your basket, and on your altar. Like power. Santa Teresa. Another possibility is making silhouettes for spoke cards to put into the spokes of your bike and use the motion of the bike to activate the imagery. Another possibility that we come up with is things that can attach to the bike and fly in the wind and trail behind. Another possibility is taking several images and stringing them up into a garland. These can be decorated onto the bike, around the basket, around yourself. Look how effective that is. Here's an excellent little string garland of resistance. Also, you consider using the cardboard to decorate yourself. Here's a situation where the cardboard really comes in handy in terms of what it can do. It's strong on one direction, but on the other direction, it curves. That's fantastic. You can make pieces of cardboard just simply that can attach to different parts of your body and can create all kinds of surfaces. Here's a piece of cardboard that we bent and attached to a helmet, but as you can see, it becomes a surface to an entire altar itself. So take a good look and think about how cardboard and imagery can decorate your bike.
So thank you so much for watching our video. Hope you learned a lot. Hope this gave you lots of ideas and possibilities for ways to create your own mobile ofrenda for the Day of the Dead. Would love to keep in touch. You're welcome to keep in touch with me via social media. You can find me on Facebook as Sandra de la Loza, Instagram, hija_de la at Instagram. And you can tell I don't use Instagram that much. Thank you. Peace out.